Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trek Before. This time, it's the penultimate episode of the original series, All Our Yesterdays. Speaking of penultimate, actually, it's not even penultimate. It's the last show of the year of the It's All Been Done Radio Hour this Saturday at Mad Lab, 5:30. Get your tickets at madlab.net. You know what it is. It's a modern geeky script comedy in the style of old-time radio. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Actually, you know what? Get it there at 5:15. Is it good, bad, geeky in December? I'm being told it's the good. My people are telling me it's the good, bad, geeky. Oh, but get there at 5:15. It's a nice little pre-show appetizer. Also, speaking of It's All Been Done, a Bare Naked Ladies podcast. This thing is blowing up. It's blowing up the internet. If you have a vague remembrance of the Bare Naked Ladies from late 90s and early aughts, you're in good company. Join friends Evan and Saker as they hazily stumble through every single Bare Naked Ladies song 1 week at a time, from the first album to last, driving themselves insane along the way. So far, they haven't got to 1 week, so you could still get in early. You could still get in early and discover 1 week along with them. I can't wait for that episode and to find out about the murderous golfer. I suggest you get in line for that one, too. Get ready for that one. And another way you can make sure that happens, go support us, patreon.com/IABD. That's how we can add all this cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, let's check out what we think about Mr. TOS and his library. Speaking of cool stuff, in All Our Yesterdays on It's All Been Trek Before.
Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trekked Before. We've got a group today.
Yeah. This is Steven.
Colleen. Sam.
Kimi Jerome. We're not finishing it out alone.
Yeah. That's
as we have been for the last several weeks.
Very exciting.
I think we hopefully can convince Colleen and Sam to stick around for the finale.
I hope so. We really need women for this last show.
So today we're talking all our yesterday's first impressions.
We've been talking about ATOS for weeks, and we were just talking off mic about, I'd kind of forgotten about the rest of the story, and I still enjoy is not the right word, but I still like the Zarabeth Spock and a lot of that stuff. This is definitely one of those third season episodes where there's certain moments I really love, and the rest of the episode kind of sucks and ruins it. And we'll get into all that too. I think I probably liked it better than you guys, but it's still not a great episode. And I know you'll get into it too. There are so many holes in this thing. The time travel issues and on and on and on. But
well, there's always time travel issues and holes
in any time travel show. That's true. This one has even more, but
yes.
The inconsistencies actually even more than holes, I guess. But I didn't hate it. So I think again I'll give it my average third season episode thing, that I thought there were some really nice moments surrounded by a bunch of crap.
I haven't been around for much of season 3, maybe only 1 or 2 other episodes, so I don't have much to compare it to in terms of the crap that you guys have had to drudge through.
Oh my God.
So rough lately.
You're lucky.
But I do agree, like it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
But, there were some really fun moments. But I do have to say, because it's been a while since I've watched any of these episodes, the pants and the boot combinations still cracks me up. I totally forgot the high boots and the high-rise flare pants.
Pretty sexy, aren't they?
It's super sexy. Show me little ankle, baby.
We'll get into fashion here soon.
I was going to say, we're almost jumping right into fashion.
Not yet.
There's much to dive into with fashion.
Colleen, impression?
For me, the Spock storyline was the part I wanted to fast forward through.
Really?
Yeah, I had no interest in watching him
That doesn't surprise
hit on the
me.
blonde.
Was she blonde? She looked kind of redhead to me.
Strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde? Okay.
I liked it. I've been reading a lot about the human race and Elon Musk's plans for the future and the possibilities with the probability of our sun exploding and humanity descending and all of this stuff. And so this was, from that perspective, just thinking about, he's not considering sending us back in time.
That's true.
He's trying to send us to other planets, but maybe we're looking the wrong way. So I was fascinated by that.
Yeah, that is
That's a bigger picture.
That is a cool thought.
That's actually part of my first note.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like this race ever developed space travel because they're not aware of other planets.
Because that was my thought too. It was like, but
they're highly advanced, so they just focused in instead of out.
Apparently, they became isolationists like some other places are trying to.
Maybe unlike us, they didn't try to destroy their planet and hate themselves.
Yeah, and I forgot about that too until they came back around and were like, well, we don't have space travel. Were they a Federation planet though? That was the part I didn't.
No, they didn't even know.
They were just because
there were people.
They get there. Yeah, they knew there was life, but they didn't understand where everyone went, which led to hilarious shenanigans when. It was a Three's Company episode, every conversation they had with ATOS. Well, it wasn't, because ATOS was just so bland about it. Like, well, I have to prepare you. Well, where have you been? It's like, Well, he says the line, "Haven't I been clear?" No,
Oh.
you haven't.
I think he actually
if you
says,
would just tell
I'm
them,
sure I've been clear.
yeah, he does. It's like if you would just tell them exactly what you mean,
Sure.
then we don't have an episode. It's like every Three Stooges episode. It's like if somebody just said exactly what's going on to one person, it's over. Also half of Shakespeare. If people just said, "Oh, here's what's going on," instead of like, "I can't tell. I'm going to not tell you clearly what's going on."
Any horror movie ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We can avoid all of this pain and suffering.
You shouldn't go in there. I'm going to anyway. No, I just told you not to go in there.
I was very clear.
Horror movies, a lot of people just not listening also.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, if we were still in season 2, I think I would not have thought this was a good episode. But with what we've been watching, I actually liked it.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, this isn't bad.
I absolutely agree.
It could be much better, but it's not. It's
It
not
could
as
be.
bad as it was.
It could be.
Yeah, they talked about there wasn't much recent history. That was anything he was interested in.
Is that
Which I
because
found
everybody
interesting.
was going through the portal to
Like getting there. See, if it were me, I'd be like, hey, I'm just going to go back in time 100 years.
Right.
Then I'll send my grandkids back in time 100 years.
right,
Then I'll
right.
send their grandkids and we'll just all
Oh, you're right. It would just be
Yeah, we'll just all live with the best technology and the best whatever. And not go back where people aren't brushing their teeth and bathing and stuff. Just me.
They've been genetically altered to live in that time period.
Yeah,
which
I
I
don't
thought
care.
was weird.
Well, I do like, or I don't know if I like it, but they jump right into it right at the beginning, like, okay, 3.5 hours, the star's going nova. It's like, all right, stakes are set. But then, even with that, those guys beam down, and they're literally walking around that library like we would at a library.
Yeah. No
Or-
urgency.
Yeah, just like,
Let me browse.
What do you have in nonfiction? Oh, that's right over there. It's like, you guys have 3 hours. You should be hustling. And Kirk doesn't get real pushy with ATOS until later when he gets real rough with them, which makes sense. But
then Bones and Spock get back, and he's just like, okay, guys, hey, we should maybe call Scotty and beam out of here.
Just another
in a
idea.
minute or two, you know.
It's nothing right now.
speaking of which,
They were consistent on the
is the only episode where there are no shots on the ship.
Yeah, it was just the 3 of them in
Yeah.
Scott's voice, but
Yeah, Scotty's voice. That's it.
That's it. No Uhura, no Sulu. You said Uhura's already gone for the series.
Yeah,
Uhura, Sulu check off Scott in the final, you think?
I think they might be.
Okay. So, yeah, unfortunately, you've missed Uhura. She's done. She already had a series wrap. But yeah, I mean, what about the design of the library? Round discs in rectangular drawers?
Well, they foresaw video discs and CDs.
Yeah, but they're in rectangular drawers. Why don't you pick a drawer that fits the disc that you have?
Maybe there's little tubes inside. Who knows?
That's about.
I mean,
that's a
we
good
saw it inside
question.
the one drawer, and it was like 2
That's a
rows
good
of
question,
circles.
yeah.
That was...
I mean, do you have round drawers here?
No, but it's not an efficient
round
use of
things?
space. I don't know. If the whole library is made up of those round discs, I would think there's a more efficient way to store them.
They had the technology to come up with this way to have discs to put you in a certain place, but not.
To build drawers that fit them.
Or maybe have some signs that explain how to use the Atavachron.
I mean, no, he's gonna. Mr. Atos is gonna use it, but he. At this point, he's like, we did the commercials, we sent out the pamphlets, we posted the flyers. Surely by now you know what you're getting into.
Well, and
The president sent an emergency response text.
to get to our Star Wars moment in this episode of It's All Been Talked For, ATOS has all those clones, and so I think each one is, as in Star Wars, with the Stormtroopers, a clone of a clone of a clone, and they're just terrible.
Dark.
They get worse and
Yeah, because
worse.
they're just like, they're always like, they don't understand, like, why don't they know that, like, Kirk is not a Sarpedian, whatever they are, Sarpedian.
I mean, I had the same thought, but I thought multiplicity instead of Star Wars.
Okay, that's a good one too. That's a good one too.
I mean, it was always the third one that was the real one, and
Yeah.
the duplicates, they just were not very efficient. I don't know how they were helpful.
Although I still thought even the clones would think that they were the real ATOS, but I don't know the
I feel
programming
like there
they do
were
on
better ways to
Sarpedian.
handle that.
There were.
I don't know that we even needed the clones. I mean, honestly.
I don't either. And
you-
Kirk was so amazed by it, like, you're a very agile man. It's like,
Well,
okay.
you had your very early jump scare when he comes around and it's like, oh, and you're like, oh, there's the second one. Scary.
What do we think of Ian Wolfe as Mr. Atos? Which A2Z, a great
Yes,
librarian
yep.
name.
I liked him. I'm trying to remember the other episode he's in. Was he in Menagerie?
He was in
Yeah.
Bread and Circuses as
Oh, that's what it
Septimus.
was. Yep, Brenser. Yep.
So he's known for, he died quite a while ago. He's known for like THX 1138,
Oh yeah.
Witness for the Persecution,
He did
Seven
a lot.
Brothers for Seven
Yeah.
Brothers.
He
He's
I
got
was
over 300 credits.
I was disappointed as a librarian he didn't go shh. That's one of my complaints. One
That would have
complaint.
been great.
I didn't see any way to that they categorized.
Yeah,
The
there's no
things.
Dewey
There was
Decimal
nothing.
System on
There was
Sarpedon.
nothing on any of those drawers. How do you
No
like?
Dewey
Never
Decimal
mind
System.
storage.
This
Where do you
ties
put
into
them?
this ties into one of my other thoughts. Is again, it's a planet that their history was almost identical to Earth,
Yeah.
as far as we can tell. Because Spock says Ice Age, and then later somebody says, "Well, it's the Sarpedon Ice Age."
Yeah, but the Ice Age was only 5,000 years before the extinction of the people.
So maybe their history was different.
So 5,000 years ago, like, that's their ancient history. They don't go any further back than that.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah,
And Ice Age was a lot further. I don't.
right. It was way back.
It just doesn't. Seem,
Going back to those CDs, they called them tapes, which I thought was cute.
yeah.
Yeah. Even on Sarpedon, they had tapes. They didn't have whatever those devices look like.
I think honestly the parallel Earth thing again. We're trying to save
Yeah.
budget in season 3.
Yeah.
Let's pull the costumes we have.
They
on
had that
storage.
same jail set.
Same jail set that they've used like 6 times. But those were definitely 3 Musketeer costumes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do we want to talk fashion?
Let's get into it. Fashion.
So 3 Musketeer outfits.
Yeah.
They're
Fancy.
stylish.
And maybe they used those for Three Musketeers because the two original. Well, I'm calling them original. The '70s Three Musketeers movies came out not long after this. Yeah, with Michael York and
Look up some pictures.
Faye Dunaway, I think was in those.
That was
Was-
1973.
Okay, it was a little later then. Okay.
So about
maybe
4
not.
years in the
All right,
future.
All right. But yeah, we had those. We had the the delightful wench
Who's
Yeah.
just credited as woman.
woman.
Anna Karen.
I called her a
Which is what she's
prostitute in my
best known
notes.
for here.
Was I wrong to call her a prostitute in my notes?
I think she was. Probably.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You know, and it just shows why, then she turns on him. He tries to help
Yeah.
her. She turns on him.
Sure.
And this is why I never help prostitutes when I'm on the
Apparently
street.
she was a thief.
Never.
Really? Then you never do?
I
Oh, I
no.
always help.
I turn because they're just gonna call me a witch and get me in trouble.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that does usually
Yeah.
happen.
I'm gonna end up in jail.
More often than not. Yeah.
That's why I avoid them.
You were just giving him a ride.
Yeah, exactly. That's as far as I'll go.
So, I mean, Mr. A. TOS was just fine. The Three Musketeers era
Sure.
dressed how we expected. But should we talk about Zara Beth's outfits? That were
God.
totally
Oh, yeah.
appropriate
Forgot.
for the climate.
I forgot until she started taking the coat off. I'm like, oh, that's why I like this episode. When I was younger, because I remember the Nanook of the North, the big fur coat and all that.
Well, my first thought was you're ripping off Raquel Welch in 1 Million
Yeah.
BC.
Well-
However, that came out in 1966.
Right.
So, unless they use the Atavachron to go back and rip off Star Trek. In this case, Star Trek ripped off somebody else. She even had the same hair and stuff. Like, it was totally Raquel
I
Welch.
enjoyed everything she wore, and I liked especially when she took it off, but she still had the boots on, which was still like, okay, we're still playing with this. We're still like, all right, because then we got to watch her take those off. From a purely attractive, tall blonde wearing that outfit, but
That's
what
what
was
I-
it? One of you guys said it was a very
So I-
comfortable cosplay.
Well, I told Colleen as I found next year's Halloween
Yeah,
costume.
I mean, you wear the fur.
I'm living for the boots.
You wear the fur when it's cold, and then when it gets warm there.
Yep.
A little
Trick or
note
treat.
while we're on that is they wouldn't let Mary Hartley show her belly button. So that's why it was that specific cut.
Of course.
So then later, she was Roddenberry cast her in I think Genesis 2, the pilot for that, and her character in that had 2 belly buttons to make up for the one they wouldn't give her in this
Oh,
one.
that's nice.
Yeah.
How sweet.
Yeah,
Marriott Hartley, best known
Yes.
for The Incredible Hulk, where she played Dr. Carolyn.
I think she won an Emmy for that.
And Encino Man.
And
Yeah.
she was for years was in a series of ads with Jim Garner for Polaroid. That's what most people know her as.
She's in the new show 911. this
Oh, is she
season.
on that? Okay.
Apparently, she's got
She's-
7 episodes playing Patricia
I think she's
Clark.
almost. I think she's 80.
Yeah, I don't. I watched that show. I don't remember her.
She
name.
was always a good actress, good side actress, but yeah, she was really well known for that. She did some episodes of Rockford Files with him, and for a long time, people thought she and Jim Garner were actually married because of the commercials.
Oh, really?
Back when people watched commercials a lot. And they were actually for their time. Actually, for now, they were great commercials. They had great chemistry and everything. But yeah, she never really broke out in movies. I mean, she did some movies obviously, but she was a huge TV performer. I guess she's still doing stuff. So.
Yep, still active.
I always liked her, and yeah, she obviously won some Emmys and kept doing stuff because I think she even parlayed that into doing more serious stuff back in the '80s after doing a lot of like guest spots on, like I said, Rockford Files and Columbo and those kind of shows.
She's 5'10".
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
definitely looked tall.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize
She's
she was
tall.
that tall. Yeah, 1 Emmy, 7 nominations.
It seems like they've now abandoned that highly fizzy or that's really soft.
Oh, the soft filter. Yeah.
I was like, oh, good.
They haven't abandoned that this season. They just didn't use it in this episode.
Yeah, at least it wasn't as dramatic as you normally see.
But they've kept the Spock's in love or whoever, or some people are in love music, just in case you weren't getting the vibe.
Ruth's theme.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Ruth's theme. Yeah.
I did not like that part of the episode. I liked her. I didn't like Spock reverting. It felt weird and inconsistent.
Came out of nowhere.
And inauthentic. Yep.
And
he belonged with McCoy. They should have been making out in the cave.
I like it. It's dichotomous to me because I do like him. That relationship. I don't like the excuse that it's reverting back to his volcanism because that's another issue altogether. And I do like that we rarely get to see Spock getting to show his human side and that kind of stuff. So I mean, it doesn't work perfectly, but yeah, I like it more than that. And then McCoy. There's McCoy issues too. One, why is he sweating the whole time? I know he's sick, but then I thought he was getting better, but he was still sweating a lot.
And Spock said he was still quite ill when they went back out.
He did. So. I guess he did say that. But
I mean, frostbite and illness are kind of two different things.
They are.
Like what kind of sick are you? Did you catch the flu in the total of 3 minutes? I don't understand. So what kind of sick are you talking about? And I like how his frostbite, he has it's not black, his fingers aren't black. I'm like, well, I guess he thawed out. I thought that's why he was sweating.
I did like Spock's frosted ear tips.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I do like the whole scene where he's talking to her with like the Jack Nicholson and the Shining spoiler alert look on it.
And then they came back from commercial and they were completely fine.
Yeah, of course.
Except for the sweat.
Because, I wrote down, that was quite the cave. And I just wrote down, nice cave you got here. Because when Spock goes to the other room with her, it's like, she's got it all laid out. It's well lit.
A lot.
Really dug out. Yeah.
Like, she's waiting.
She's been waiting, all right. We can tell. She was like, oh yeah.
She was ready.
She's been lonely.
It occurred to me, because I think this is the last episode like this we'll get with the, jump back into the past and do goofy crap with parallel Earths. I feel like the other Star Trek spin-offs have continued it, but instead of doing it the same way of really cheesy going back in the past, they just added the holodeck. And I feel like the holodeck is their way to do these types of episodes.
Absolutely.
With it being a little less cheesy.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of cool that they've continued this part of the original series, but found a way to make it better.
Yeah. Spock calls it Arctic characteristics because every planet has an Arctic area.
Sure.
And we talked about the Ice Age. One aspect I did like, and even though we talked a little bit off mic, but I thought the Kirk part was longer back in whatever era. I did like the sword fight just because I do like seeing Kirk, as I've said for 77 episodes now, kicking ass. I like seeing Kirk be Kirk and do his macho Shatner Kirk stuff.
And that wasn't a bad representation of some fencing.
Yeah, and a lot of it was actually Shatner. I was keeping a very close watch. Like, it turned, it's like, nope, that's not the back of his head.
I mean, it was very basic movements, but they had him down. It
and
wasn't
apparently,
like when he hits you with, open palm.
Anytime you beat someone in any kind of sword match, you hit them in the butt with the blunt end of the sword. Yes. That is what you do.
Do you notice Shatner was wearing a Michael Myers mask the whole episode? And did you like how he was hanging out with Gary Shandling's dad? Kermit Murdoch looked like
he does. Yeah, he does. There was one Johnny Hamer played the constable.
He's credited
also well known as Sergeant Zale from MASH. And he's in my favorite movie of all time, Annie Hall.
Annie Hall, he's a comic.
Yeah, as the terrible comic.
And he's a voice in the Transformers animated series from the 80s.
And he was in the, I think he was in the Police Academy movies too.
Was he?
I think so. Maybe I got the wrong.
He was in an episode of Punky Brewster and an episode of Golden Girls, so that's an accomplished career right there. I don't see the
Maybe it wasn't Police
Academy films.
You know what? I'm confusing him with the other guy who also played one of the mechanics on MASH.
Yeah, do your research, Steven.
I did. I stopped short. Sorry.
You're the only one that does research.
Not like this coming from me, who's just like, I'm here to watch a TV show, guys.
I mean, that's how I treat it. And I do it every week. I think I researched the beginning of season 1, and then Steven started doing it. I'm like, oh, he's good. I don't do it.
Yeah, you got the computer up, so between that, we
cares more.
got it covered.
Yeah, probably. Marvin Chomsky directed. This was his third and final director.
What were his other two? I'm curious.
Day of the Dove.
Okay.
And the Children Shall Lead.
Oh.
So he's the third season director.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad.
I appreciate him bringing back the Guardian Forever slow motion. Anytime you pass through a portal, through time you go.
Looked just like the Guardian, though.
It did.
Oh, and this was written by Jean or John Lizette Rose or whatever, who wrote one other episode. Is There in Truth No Beauty?
Oh, okay. All right. I read that in the original episode, that Spock there was no Zarabeth, so Spock and McCoy were in a desert area.
And then they did get to fall in love, and the censor said, no, relationship on television.
They were captured by misshapen humanoids. And then Kirk was in a San Francisco Barbary Coast area, which makes sense which is interesting because Shatner ended up doing a show called Barbary Coast.
Barbary Coast.
Also used to be a casino in Vegas, but I don't think it's there anymore.
I think you're right.
But yeah, one of my questions, how can they hear each other? How come they can hear each other?
I wondered about that. And the portals just stay open for anybody to wander into?
So a woolly mammoth might come through and go into the library?
Right?
Yes.
And then immediately die?
Well,
or no? Or would it?
It seems like, so I guess the hint that there might be a rule to this portal thing is Spock and McCoy went through together, so have to come back together. So my guess is if you didn't go through the portal, you can't go back through the portal?
I feel like the rules for this portal are arbitrary and capricious. Like,
sure.
Literally made, like,
but
it's just setting it, like,
justified.
it's like, you have 3 hours, the sun goes over. Oh, by the way, once you go through, you can't go back. It's like...
Plus, time where you go moves at the same rate as it does here.
Right.
We can't just pull you from, 5 minutes after you left, even though it's been a few hours.
Well, they tried to hold it as such a big reveal that, this is why you can't go back. 'Cause
Right.
you're changed, because they make it sound like
you've been
once
prepared.
you go through, you've been changed.
Well,
But then they go back, and they're like, but it's this, and so...
Well, they weren't prepared by him, so they weren't
Right.
actually changed.
Well,
no, I know
here's
that.
my thing, is like...
I know that, but that was the big reveal, so to speak,
So-
that they were trying to...
Oh, so to speak.
Did Atos prepare himself?
Every time.
Huh?
Did Atos prepare himself? Because he just
Yes.
died.
I think
Oh, yeah, I think
so,
he was already prepared.
So he did it months
right
ago.
before Kirk came back. He was, done, ready to go.
This preparation thing, I feel like is some kind of fake scam.
I want to know what goes into it.
Yeah, I think their idea was well, once you go, you got to stay, because they just didn't want people coming back. And it was now we got a huge problem on our hands.
And then they're like, oh, wait, now with the Spock thing, how do we not let him stay?
Well, and maybe I missed this. You guys can help me.
Sure.
How does McCoy figure out that she's lying?
I think he's just jealous.
He was a little...
Because here's my
very
thing.
jealous.
He was so I know this. She's lying. Blah,
Well,
blah,
he
blah.
said Zarabeth is a woman. And then there's and then
that's
there's
what I was
a big
like.
buzz.
Whoa.
And then he's like, who, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But at first it's like, no, she's a woman.
She's
so
a woman,
lying.
so they lie.
lying.
That's what they do. He called her a snake too. Didn't he call her a snake somewhere in there? I just wrote
he was
McCoy's a
really
dick.
mean to her.
I just wrote he's a dick. How does he? Is he just guessing? He's just speculating. I still think
I think he's just guessing.
he is. And I think, and here's the part that disappoints me is Zarabeth says once Spock starts getting it together again, and she's like, "Well, I'll die if I go through." I'm going to jump forward to Wrath of Khan. Spock, there are always possibilities. I think he'd be like, "Come with us. We'll figure it out."
Yeah. Well, bring me to the Enterprise and we'll fix you before you die.
I mean, isn't it worth a chance for her to take that chance rather than live alone and die in the friggin' ice
I think
age?
she would have taken the chance.
Yeah, and she's.
Spock was just not that into her.
Ooh,
That's not how he played the
snap.
whole episode.
Oh.
Maybe he was into her for an hour and a half, and then she
And
got a
then
bit
he got
much.
what he wanted, and
Yeah.
he was ready to move on.
That's
That's
true.
what
And then she's never gonna call him.
Because he's a man.
And she gave him the milk
then-
for free.
That way. This is the Seinfeld part of this episode. She can't do a pop-in. She can't just do it. She's 5,000 years ago, dead.
The show was over anyway, so we
And
could
buried.
have had Spock end with her. It would have been great. The winter landscape reminded me of Aurora Penthe from the Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we found that it was a prison, I'm like, oh, so it's definitely Aurora Penthe.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole episode, I kept thinking of, you can never go back. I was thinking of All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh,
When he wound back his clock and he goes back to life and you can never come back.
One other moment with McCoy early on, which is great, because it's totally cliche. We see in every movie still. He falls down because he's so cold.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me here. Go on. Go on to where? Where does he tell him to go on to? I don't understand.
Buddy, I don't know what you're talking about.
You should be cut open my belly and climb inside me. You'll
I was
survive.
thinking that too. I was like, how
Well,
about your attack?
and here's my other question: while we're still in the area of Spock reverting to the Vulcan ways of 5,000 years ago, why wouldn't McCoy resort to 5,000
He
years
did. That's
ago?
why he was so angry and yelling.
Well, that's okay.
He got extra sexist.
He's an yeah. He, she, woman, she. That he should have been talking like an.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Hit on head.
It.
Drag
Well, I
that.
don't know that people had language 5,000 years ago, right? Ancient
Yeah, it's just not good.
2000 BC.
Yeah.
And it wasn't caveman language. You wouldn't be me woman, me man, whatever.
Well, no, I thought he was more like a
Just being a
Hun.
jerk.
I thought he was more like a Hun or.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe this is pre-Hun, but
I don't know.
I mean they weren't speaking good English.
how does Spock know they're in the past before Zarabeth tells him? Like, he knows he went through a portal.
Oh, you're right.
But, like, you can't see the stars to, like, judge
You're right.
that
Why didn't he
way.
just get sent? He could have been sent to the
It could have been some
the Arctic
realm. He doesn't know where it
Sardinia.
is.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where it is, so he
That's a
figured
good
that
point.
out with no... That just didn't make sense to me.
It's one of the many things that don't make sense.
I mean, there's a couple. I liked that they said Bones was an evil spirit because I'm like, that's basically right.
Yeah, especially in this episode. I didn't know Spock was vegan.
Yeah,
Me
they
neither.
established that.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vulcans don't eat meat.
He was much like my brother, who was vegan or vegetarian for like 8 years, and then split with the woman who he was dating that was vegan. And I was with him when he had his first piece of pepperoni pizza. He was like, "Oh, that's really good." Well, actually, he wasn't like Spock. He's the exact opposite. He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right with this. I'm back."
I had a friend who went vegetarian cold turkey because of a report he had to do on animal cruelty, and he just went cold turkey. So the night before he left for the Army to go to boot camp, we all went out to a really nice dinner, and he ordered cheese ravioli. They brought him beef ravioli, and he bit into it, and he was like, "Damn it. Well, you know what? Whatever. It's already ruined." And ate it. And I was like, "Oh!" He was not happy. He like ate his ravioli.
I thought they were Zarabeth and Spock trusted each other way too quickly. 'Cause first of all, she says she's a prisoner, so he should automatically be like, "Okay, what were your crimes? What'd you do?" But then, even if he's entranced, whatever, she's like, they tell her, "Oh, we weren't prisoners. We're just sent here by mistake." And I'm thinking that's what they all say.
That guy was dead when I got there.
I don't know what happened over there.
That's good.
Your
And
fingerprints
Like,
are
every
everywhere.
prisoner in jail is innocent.
You know,
everything comes back with
when you're thrown into a situation like that,
Yeah.
you know, emotions run high, and so.
And she was just horny.
Oh, she was, and Spock too, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Especially once he started reverting.
I mean, it's been 2 years since Pomfar, so.
One of my favorite moments of, and whether he was reverting or not, is when McCoy goes to his racism again, calls him a pointy-eared Vulcan.
Yeah.
Pointy-eared Vulcan, not devil, something. I feel like it's Nimoy and us all speaking at one time when he's like, "I don't like that. In fact, I don't think I've ever liked that." And I'm like, yes! He's not reverting.
That would be a great line
McCoy's
for
the
a
jerk.
That would be a great line for a series finale. It's too bad they didn't save it for next week.
Yeah, but it's like, for me, it's like, you know, it's saying, the actor saying what he's been thinking and everything, and
This
they got it.
whole
In
time.
this, yeah, it's
This
just
whole
like,
time.
because I know we've said it many times, like, McCoy's a racist.
Yes.
He's
specious.
Specious, yeah.
He's
It's
not
like,
racist, he's specious.
finally, Spock's like, I don't like it. I've never liked it. But they explain it away by saying he reverted. No, he's still more enlightened than you, McCoy.
And McCoy still calls him that in the movies. So
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't get fixed. But by then they've already, consummated their relationship, and they've, now that it's just a term of endearment.
Now he likes it just because he likes it.
I mean,
maybe
this is my
makes it
alternate-
dirtier.
Hold on,
This is my alternate episode. Zarabeth never comes back. They just find her cave and they get it on. And then they want to stay there instead of going home because it's, where they can be together.
This is our man cave.
My alternate episode is they actually go to cool places you would go to.
Oh, wait. I hadn't even thought that.
I don't know why Kirk is sitting there like, oh, this is fascinating. This looks pretty awesome. It's like, really? Three Musketeers? People riding horses? Whatever. Why did they make it irreversible? Why did the Sarpedians make it irreversible?
Because Mr. Atos had enough to do with getting them all scattered throughout
I
the
guess
street.
I did mention
he
that. I
couldn't
thought they'd
deal
come
with
back
people
through.
like changing their mind and coming back.
I guess, but
Did they do anything to preserve their history? They have them on the discs.
No, but
the
the discs
discs
are about to be
go
destroyed.
anywhere? They're
No.
destroyed, but
Yeah.
so they didn't preserve their entirety
No.
of race's history.
I'm just curious about the Tavacon, like how that whole thing works. We don't really get much information on, like, they decided, okay, we're going to make an Atavacron. Okay, how do we access it? These little things. They're clearly precise. There's a portal placed somewhere in there.
Well, they bought the Atavacon from the same people that manufactured the M5 computer from last season, and then they joined the Columbia Record Library to get all the discs.
Tapes.
Whatever. You know what I mean.
And the really cool places were probably like, oh, we're out of stock.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. They're like, well, our son's going to go supernova. We can't wait for it to come back.
It's
in
out of stock. Here's Billy Joel's nylon curtain. For your charge. On cassette.
They should have gone back to Billy Joel's Nylon Curtain. Why are they going back to Three Musketeers?
I know. Allentown would be great. I liked when the jail, or whatever, Kirk's helper is like, I know you're from another island. Yes, but you're not from this island. What island are you from? Earth. And there's that movie, This Island Earth. Do you guys know that movie?
No.
It was the movie they used for the MST3K movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, I felt like they were referencing it.
I liked Kirk in the jail cell when he stole the keys. Apparently, you just spin that key around several times to the lock.
It was so
Never
weird.
seen a key
With
that
an
worked
arm
like
that you can't even reach.
It was another
Yeah,
weird
but
one
the
where
kid shots.
like they
So
focused
good.
on it, like him turning it for a lot longer than needed. Like
Yeah.
they could have just taken the long shot, not even shown it. Like, okay,
No,
yeah,
but instead
we got
it
it.
clearly spun in the lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how keys in the 1700s worked.
I'm sure they didn't just spin in the lock. That's not how keys work.
So were we in... The Musketeers were French, right? Wasn't that a French or
Yes,
Belgian?
but these guys, they obviously weren't in France.
Yeah, we didn't hear anybody do that.
In this
how you
different
know you're
world,
in
the
France.
Musketeers came up in
Savoir faire.
When you
Britain.
land in France.
What's that?
In this parallel Earth,
Oh.
the Musketeers came up in Britain instead of
Oh,
France.
yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
And
Or they
woman-
just spoke English in both.
The woman's accent kept changing too.
When she called him, she said, "I thought you were an Anglo at first."
Yeah, I heard that.
Definitely more
And then she went into like an Irish accent.
Yeah,
and
she was
then-
all over-
So she was all over.
And
the
I also
place.
believe, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm an episode ahead, but I think this was her only credit.
Who?
The woman that played Woman.
Oh yeah, Anna Karen.
Yeah,
Should
isn't this
try
like her only
I'm
acting
pretty
credit?
Sure, let me double check. No, she has 21 credits.
Oh,
This
okay.
is her only Star Trek acting credit.
Okay, well, it's the same thing.
She did 19 episodes of Peyton's Place a couple years
Oh,
before
that's
this.
right, that was her.
Yeah, but she hasn't been active since the 70s. Actually, she died in 2009.
I was gonna say,
Well,
did
that
she
explains
die?
it. Yeah.
In 2009, she stopped acting in the 70s, so...
No. Well, she must have found something more fulfilling.
She was an actress known for Star Trek. The other thing... I only had a couple more. I thought when he sent that cart through the portal at the end, first of all, I'm thinking platform 9 3/4, of course. You just run...
Yeah.
But second of all, then that cart just shows up in some random old time period. That's
Probably
not
tricked
cool.
someone, you know.
That's not cool.
And so when everyone goes back in time, does that change everybody else's time in some way or not? Or?
I mean, I don't think they're worried about that because the planet's getting destroyed anyway.
It's probably so. There's probably millions of parallel timelines going on. Is that
Oh,
what's
I didn't
going
think
on?
about that. Oh.
Yeah, they're screwing with other people's timelines
Yeah,
by showing up.
I think Spock would know exactly how much time has passed and not have to ask. And Spock would know exactly where they came through the portal. And
Yeah.
it even felt the wall when they first came through.
Well, like even the Vulcans when they were savages, they still had the same
Intelligence,
brains,
yes.
right? They just wanted to kill everybody.
And then my other thing is, there's only 17 minutes left. Scotty hasn't heard from them in 3 hours. And he hasn't yet sent the landing party to go find them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
we've
I'm
got
not
the
worried
landing party
about it.
ready. But we were going to wait till there were only 30 seconds left to come look for you.
When the captain's away and the mice will play, they're having a good old time on that ship.
So was Kirk's thought, don't send anyone else down, that they would end up in 6 other places because they'd be like,
Probably.
ATOS would shove them through or just not
Well, I think
explain
they
it to
just
them.
didn't need anybody else sent down.
Again, Kirk could have said like, "Oh, here's the deal. There's a deal here. Here's what's happening." Blah blah blah. Like
There's
that-
no time!
But yeah, they could have sent someone down, you know, quarantine ATOS, and,
Sure.
you know, then they come back and yay.
This might be my last note. Is McCoy again reverting to being super sexist? Zarabeth, you're a beautiful cook.
No, I want to know how she learned how to, like, so she was left with everything she needed to survive.
Sure.
Does that include skills when her food runs out?
Right.
So, like, how did did they give her these animals?
There was a
Did she
cookbook.
Skin them?
There was
Did
a cookbook.
But how does
mean-
she know how to hunt and skin and cure?
She had a portable
and-
DVD player with YouTube access.
I feel like you kill one woolly mammoth
Yeah.
and you're one person. I mean, dinner for one. That's dinner for one for
And you've got a
years,
freezer
right?
outside, so
Yeah.
you just because
Because mammoths were like what, 8 tons or something like that? Yeah, you could eat forever on those.
I mean, you
And
could
that's
just
so
cut
many
off-
fur boots.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
can
the
wear them
same
for
color.
years and years and years. They'll
Oh,
last.
is that bad? Should they not all be the same color?
I mean,
Well, what's the point in having the same pair of boots in the same color?
She can make different
Oh,
styles.
that's a fair point.
I don't know. I
Well-
guess-
gotta go with the seasons, you know. I mean, it's out. This one's out.
So I guess that indicates she was really hoping and knew someday someone would show up to see her in both those outfits.
Yeah,
She's like, I'm so ready.
Because otherwise, why?
and she was freshly bathed and ready to go too.
And
Maybe she heard them come out, and then she like hurried up and cleaned up the place and showered, bathed, and then went out to find them. That's why it took them so long.
How does she keep her legs shaved?
Very careful.
That was one
Sharp
of the
rocks.
tools that was left for her
Yeah,
for survival.
exactly. Or she just takes the like a horn or a tooth or something from one of the woolly mammoths. And
I wonder if she
Yeah.
also figured
Oh.
out how to access natural gas aquifers. That's why it was so warm in there. She could just get down to nice, comfortable clothes.
I just don't think there's any chance that somebody that's been alone that long looks that good and has her cave that well organized.
I mean, her eyebrows were on point. Come on.
Yeah.
Mine looked crazy after a week.
She didn't even have a mirror.
No.
She probably did. We just didn't see it. We didn't. See
You're right. We didn't see the whole. Right. We only saw
The
2
bathroom
rooms.
was gorgeous, you guys. It's just.
I thought she just went out and buried it in snow, but you're probably right. Oh, I think we already covered this. The Tavacron is they're just making it up as they go along.
Yeah.
The rules were completely arbitrary and capricious. What will serve and create more drama, whether it makes sense or not. But that was the one. There are 2 future novels inspired by this episode, and I don't know which. I feel like maybe they go back to Zarabeth.
I've definitely read at least one of them. I'm looking up right now. There were 2. Both novels were early in the Simon Schuster run, number 11 and number 39.
Okay.
One was called Yesterday's Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Bet you can't guess that one. That one is the one I have in the basement. It describes the events surrounding Spock's discovery that he has a son.
I might have had
by
that.
Zara Beth.
I might have had that one actually.
They study the archaeological records from the now destroyed planet. So apparently they grab the library records as they leave. And they find an Ice Age cave painting depicting a Vulcan face, and he realizes that Zarabeth gave birth to his child. So he uses the Guardian of the Forever to go back in time to rescue his son.
This goes back to Colleen's theory that he was like, gotta go. He knew he nailed it at one time.
Instead of finding
He knew he made a baby.
Instead of finding him as a child, they miscalculate and meet a 28-year-old man whose mother had died many years ago in an accident. And he returns to the Enterprise and passes as a distant relative of Spock.
Is the accident she was killed by a woolly mammoth?
Right.
It doesn't say what the accident is in the Wikipedia. And then they have to go back to the Guardian because the Romulans are trying to get it. And Zar is the son's name, obviously.
Okay.
Volunteers to help Spock place the force field, and he's got telepathic powers. He can sense the Romulans even though they're cloaked. And then the Enterprise and Scotty in Command battles the Romulans. Boop, boop, boop.
This makes his little
Then
sense.
Kirk and Spock are captured and tortured by the Romulans. The Enterprise defeats the Romulans.
Is this all Yesterday's Sun?
Yeah, this is just Yesterday's Sun. And then Zar decides to return to his past, but in a more settled location. So
A more settled location in the Ice Age?
than the Ice
I was
Age,
just
yeah.
hmm.
And then Time for Yesterday, I have this one too. I guess I have them both. Describes a second encounter between the Enterprise and Zar. So it is
That's
like a
not
sequel
bad.
to that book.
Were those like 70s books or early 80s?
The second one was 1988. April 88. Let me see what the first one was. 83. And they were both written by A.C. Crispin, who was a prolific Star Trek author.
I think I have I had the 83 one. I think I had Yesterday's Sun.
Yeah, and they find the Guardian of Forever plays into both of them. The second one looks less interesting. I mean, I think that it certainly occurred to me that they fathered a child, so cool. Does Zarabeth, or the woman, replace Vana for you?
Zarabeth does, yeah.
Zarabeth.
I was not expecting it.
Not the woman with the...
No, she does not. Nope. I know she would do me wrong. Yeah, she does. I did expect it, and I forgot she took the fur coat off. And then, all logic went out the window, just like for Spock.
I mean... I'm going with Zarabeth as well.
Yeah.
I want to be trapped in a cave with her. That's fine.
Yeah.
Sam?
Who's Sam's last one? I'm curious to see.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
remember.
looking and trying to figure it out. There's...
Figure it out faster.
Sorry, I haven't been here in so long. Oh, you're column F. Let me scroll down column F. The last one you did one other episode this season, played as stepchildren,
Yeah.
and you have Falana from that.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, is that Barbara Babcock?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep her.
You're going to keep Falana?
Yeah, keep Falana.
Yeah.
And let's see,
She's a good one.
Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it's a Ramen Commander or somebody's pair of pants. Something like that.
I got to scroll up to follow. That's Keith's column. Colleen is column I. You still have Morgan Earp.
I don't know who that is.
From-
Spectre of the Gun.
Yeah.
Oh, the hot brother?
Yes.
Apparently.
Well, there weren't any hot guys on this one, so I'm going to stay with him.
Okay.
That's true. There weren't a lot.
The only new guy was the old guy, right?
It was all
several.
the fops.
There were the
Oh,
Fox.
yeah.
And there was the Gary Shandling's father,
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Atos.
I mean,
stick with
ATOS
my
would be
brother.
free. And
Yeah.
that smoking jacket, man.
I mean, I think Zarabeth would swing both ways.
I have a feeling the choices we just made are going to survive the next episode.
Probably. So where do we rank this episode? I mean, I want to start in the upper half.
Yeah.
Let's start with the empath. Better or worse?
I'm gonna go below the empath.
Yeah, that's fair. Alana Troyes.
It's in that zone.
Just looking for.
It's in that zone.
Confused.
I feel like it's in that zone where it's like a kind of entertaining episode, but not a perfect episode. So I think we're in that zone.
The one below that is The Way to Eden, which was the hippies were
surprisingly
good.
we like that.
I think this was a little more intelligent and creative than that one.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it above Alana Troyes, I think, or in that or below, above.
Yeah, I'm torn. Make Keith decide.
This is on you.
Keith, who we're still waiting to decide. Let that be your last.
He's catching up,
above or below.
but he
is.
Where's Plato's Children on that?
It is 4th for the season.
Okay, because I like Plato's Children better than this one.
Yes.
The only other episode I've watched.
Of this season, yes. It's up there.
Yeah, I'm the outlier on that one. I don't love that one as much.
Yeah.
But I love Barbara Babcock.
I love the goofiness of it.
So yeah, we will finalize these rankings when we have Keith back for our season wrap-up, because I don't think he's going to be here for the finale either.
Yeah, this is the penultimate episode.
And now
Season
we
3.
are going to, in a week, we'll get back together, and we will do the final episode.
Turnabout Intruder.
So I'll see you in a week.
Yeah, but we don't want to waste anything.
Until then, you should try to live long and prosper, unless you go back in time. And then,
To the Tavacron.
right.
Don't prepare yourself. Just go. Then you can come back.
It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?